4 strikes, obliterating 4 boats so far, with over 20 dead.
You don't kill the crew. That's murder.
What is happening between the U.S. and Venezuela?
There's a lot of fear within the regime.
And is it legal?
All you have to do is look at the cargo like it's spattered all over the ocean.
Let's back up. Relations between Venezuela and the United States have been in a bad spot for a while now. Washington blames the country for an influx of drugs and criminals, led by a president they consider the head of a drug cartel connected to a vast cocaine smuggling conspiracy.
Today I'm here to talk about the former Maduro regime.
During Trump's first term, Maduro was indicted, with the U.S. offering a $15 million reward for his capture.
Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice.
They're the enemies of all humanity. For this reason, we've recently begun using the supreme power of the United States military.
Nicolás Maduro Moro, presidente.
Last summer, in an election international observers say was rife with fraud, President Nicolas Maduro was elected for a 3rd term on a slim majority and acted quickly to crack down on critics.
There's been a record number of...
Cristal Picon is one of those forced to flee. The Venezuelan journalist is now living in exile.
This has been a year of unprecedented repression, not just 2025, but since mid-2024.
Today we're moving forward.
But September 2nd, in the middle of a U.S. Space Command press conference, marked a dramatic escalation.
We just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat.
Well, what we saw on September 2nd was a remarkable change in the way that force is used in countering drug smuggling and narcotics at sea.
Philip Drew would know. He's a former intel officer and lawyer with the Canadian Armed Forces.
If you are not at war, you cannot use lethal force as a first measure against anybody. We are at peace. Drug smugglers are criminals. As with any other criminal, we can't just kill them because we see them.
But after declaring the Venezuela gang Tren de Agua a foreign terrorist organization, the president doesn't see suspected drug smugglers as criminals, but rather as narco-terrorists.
Changing the name of something does not change its legal status.
Drew, who has been on drug intercept missions, says there are strict procedures.
If there is no flag on that vessel, then you have a right to approach to board. If you find illicit narcotics on that vessel, you can seize those narcotics and or arrest the crew. You don't kill the crew. That's murder.
While Trump boasts traffic on the water has slowed,
There are no boats out there. Not even fishing boats. They don't want to go fishing. I don't blame them. There'll be no fishing today.
a growing American armada is gathering in the Caribbean Sea.
It's unusual for us to have this much force off of Latin America. That's pretty much unprecedented.
Retired Navy Captain Bradley Martin says the U.S. is ratcheting up its presence with a Marine Expeditionary Unit.
And that's 3,000 Marines who are capable of doing a lot of different things. There are also F-35s being placed in Puerto Rico, and there are a number of destroyers.
As someone who has served in these kind of situations and felt that responsibility of the men under your command and the people that you are targeting, I wonder how you feel about this use of military force in this situation.
Certainly, it's a big change. I think we would be better served by having an explicit, like a congressional authorization to do this.
With reports the U.S. is now considering targeting sites inside Venezuela, the president is keeping his options open.
We'll see what happens with Venezuela. Venezuela's been very dangerous.
And now, according to reports, a memo sent to Congress states the U.S. is in an armed conflict with drug cartels it considers unlawful combatants, while Venezuela's president is already mobilizing militias and holding emergency response drills. This is far from the first American adventure in Latin America. As forces gather in the region, some see it as reminiscent of what happened in Panama in 1989, when the death of an American soldier led to a U.S. invasion and the surrender of General Manuel Noriega, who Americans ultimately convicted of drug trafficking. That time, it was Noriega who declared war first. But as the U.S. ramps up the pressure, Maduro is cracking down on dissent.
Well, the most important, say, slogan or motto of the Maduro regime lately has been doubting is treason, dudar is traición. So pressure is not only on the opposition that has been persecuted for the past 13, 14 months, but also on people within Chavismo that are scared.
So as America rewrites the rules, questions remain about the future for both countries. Is there a danger of this developing into a quagmire?
There's always a danger of things developing into a quagmire when you go into a place thinking that you're going to come out with a decisive result.
If Maduro is removed from power, one way or another, what will that mean for the situation of Venezuela?
People do want Maduro removed. That's the thing. And I think it would be well perceived if the US finally does it. The thing is that most people don't think about the day after and how complicated that day after can be.
And as the US and the newly named Department of War focuses on unshackling its warriors,
no more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement.
Some worry about the effect on the rule of law.
If you strip away the law, you strip away our humanity. You strip away those fundamental beliefs that we hold. I'm going to use an analogy here. Now, Bonnie and Clyde robbed an awful lot of banks, but it didn't make bank robbery illegal. International law is not created by unilateral actions by a state that is going rogue.